There is a saying that goes, the only things that are certain in life are death, taxes, and heartbreak. Well, obviously, the last one wasn't actually in there, but it might as well have been. Heartbreak is one of those things that is eerily familiar, and I think it's one of those things that helps us empathize with people, even strangers, because all of us have gone through some sort of heartbreak. It might not necessarily be a romantic heartbreak, it could be a loss of a family member, a friend, a pet, or something that you were emotionally attached to. And let's be honest, heartbreak sucks. So recently I had my fair share of heartbreak. I think it's important to talk about this because when I was going through it, just listening to stories and perspectives and different kinds of opinions from other people who were going through the same thing as me really sort of comforted me and really helped me sort of get through the situation. Now, I don't want this to be a story time or a rant time, but I think it's important to just give a bit of context and background as to what happened. I ended my previous serious, like 2.5 year relationship around the beginning of the year. It was a very difficult breakup, and the transition period was honestly quite long for me, and I was single for the majority of the year. I felt that I had moved on enough and I was ready to be in another relationship. I wasn't actively searching for it, and I told myself if it happens, it happens. And it just so happened that this absolutely wonderful and amazing girl fell into my life. You know, it wasn't planned. She was an incredible person to talk to. She was an incredible person to be with and be around. And whilst we weren't really together, you know, we didn't really label, we were just dating, I guess, but we didn't even label that. It was always such a joy to be around her and talk to her. We laughed at each other's jokes, we understood each other, everything just clicked so well, and it gave me a renewed sense of purpose, because for the most part of the year I was just trudging through, just getting jobs after jobs. But when somebody's there behind you, supporting you, and more so somebody that you just click with so well, your world changes. You know, you become happier, you think differently, and things were going really good, at least in my head. And there were no signs whatsoever that anything was going to end, when all of a sudden she dropped me a text. In her text she just said like, hey, I can't do this anymore, I need to end this, goodbye. And that was really the last I heard from her. She blocked me everywhere, she deleted most of her social media, and there was no way for me to contact her at all. And I finally found out recently that she got back together with her ex-boyfriend. You know, I don't think that was the most painful part. I think the most painful part was the lack of closure. And you know, you wake up every morning to a good morning text, and suddenly now your phone is just silent in the morning. So after she left, like, this transition period was honestly really difficult. Like, I found myself back in a very terrible place where it was just work after work. There was no real purpose in life. There was nothing that really made me happy. I was starting to get more tired. I would sleep like maybe 2 to 3 hours a day, and I would be so tired, yet I had to put on a face for work because, you know, I can't look sad for work. I need to do work because people are paying me. And I started to realize that this was affecting me more than I thought it would, and I needed to do something about it. So obviously the first thing I tried was that I tried to Google things. There was a lot of advice out there. Some of it was like, remind yourself about how terrible your ex was, and I didn't really want to sully my memory of her, and so I didn't want to do that. Other things were like, go out, use Tinder, start dating other people, and I don't think I'm ready yet, so that just didn't help out, and I'm bad at Tinder. One of the things that a lot of people recommended was actually writing down your feelings, or writing them down into letters, but not actually give them to the person. I thought that being a photographer, how can I make it a little bit more me? Because I don't generally write down my feelings, but I do take a lot of pictures that sometimes represents how I feel. And so I recalled that this girl really liked looking at the sky. And so I thought, why not I go for an entire month, 30 days, every single day go out and take a picture of the sky, write down my feelings behind them as if I was going to hand them the letters like a postcard. And I did. For an entire month, I went out to take pictures of the sky, and I printed them all out, and I wrote behind them my feelings. There was a little bit of a technical error because the time I did this project, it was the monsoon season in Malaysia, so it was very, very gloomy and dark, and there were a lot of terrible looking skies. And so I decided, hey, okay, on the days that I can't go out to take a picture, I would use a picture that I've taken before. And I think this is an absolutely beautiful part about doing your own creative project, is that you make the decisions about what's right and wrong, and you change it as you go. Because ultimately, you're not doing this for anyone else, you're doing this for yourself. It's not to show the world, it's to get through your emotions and to be real and upfront with the things that you are feeling. And so I completed the project. I have to admit, despite it having a negative connotation to it, I really, really enjoyed myself. And right now, I have a deeper sense of appreciation, and I look up more often just to see how everything looks. So now I want to talk a bit about what this project helped me realize and understand. There were a few things. The first one was that it really helped ease me into letting go. Before I started this, I wanted a reason. I needed to know a reason. I just needed closure as to why, what happened, what did I do. There was a lot of self-blaming. There was a lot of like, what could have happened or what did I do? And at the end of the project, what I realized was that I will never ever be happy with whatever she says. Oh, I got back with my ex-boyfriend. That hurts. I don't like you anymore, that still hurts. So like whatever that she says, I'm not going to be happy with it. So it's important for me to just accept the situation now. It's better to not have a reason and find the closure in myself rather than expect it from her. And jumping off that, throughout the project, I kind of wanted to give her these notes and these pictures. In my head was that like, I just want this chapter to close. I just want to give you as a form of closure. But deep down, I kind of knew that I wanted to give these photos to her because I wanted her to be disappointed and sad as well. I wanted her to feel remorse for the actions that she did. I want her to feel guilty, and I just realized that that's such a terrible thing to do. It's a terrible thing to want to make someone feel bad just so that you can validate and you can feel good yourself. And I don't think that should ever be a reason, no matter how terrible that person has treated you. And finally, the last thing that this project did for me was that I came to accept and understand that the real reason I was so angry and disappointed and sad was not primarily because she left, was that I felt like I was a failure. I failed at another relationship. I failed at making something good happen for myself. And I've had my fair share of breakups as well. And it's just happening again. It took a long time for me to understand and accept that she's not the real reason I'm angry. I'm angry at myself. And it's not fair for me to blame her for the feelings that I'm having because I'm angry at myself. One of the advice that people gave me was that you should drown yourself in work, drown yourself in doing more things to forget about her. But drowning yourself in work is kind of like a temporary relief, because at the end of the day, once you're done with work, you go home, lie down on your bed, the first thing you think about is her. The only way to really help you accept the situation is to confront your emotions and feelings head on. And as I was writing down the last words on the last picture, it was "Love, Sam." I forgave her. I forgive you. I want you to be happy, and I want you to search for the peace that you are looking for. It's not going to be with me, but I hope you find it. And I forgive you. So if you are going through your own heartbreak, I hope this encourages and it inspires you to go through your own creative project to help you accept and address the emotions that you're feeling. If I didn't address my emotions and feelings head on, I think this would have affected me even more in my work and in my everyday life. So I'm really glad that I did this, and I hope you will too. Thank you so much for watching this video. I know it's a little bit different from the normal videos that I do, but one thing moving forward with this channel, I want it to be not just about photography or filmmaking, but also about, you know, self-improvement, self-help and things like that. A lot of it is still going to be related to the creative side of photography and filmmaking like this. And I want to do more things about the stuff that I've learned throughout my life and things that I've experienced, because a lot of good things have been happening and I would just want to share and I want to document more. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.